This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andrich, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR The Real Deal, HR by HR for HR. Hello, Katarina.
Hey, Ann-Marie.
Good to be back on this great rooftop with beautiful Stockholm in the background, don't you think?
Nice to be here. And the sun is almost out.
It's almost breaking through the clouds, exactly. I would like to touch base on your well-renowned, I would say, Work From Anywhere program that you launched some time ago that has created such a great buzz, both internally at Spotify, but also externally, obviously, and created a lot of excitement and coverage for you. I know that you have been almost virtually touring the world on panels, webinars, seminars, you and Alexander Westerdahl and Anna Lundström, who are the designers of the program. So I would like to talk a little bit about that, if that is okay with you.
Yeah, totally.
I know you talk about it quite a lot, but let's do that. So first of all, let's start with the obvious question. Why work from anywhere?
So we started to talk about working from anywhere, but we called it distributed first then. And there was no way that we could be 100% distributed 4 years ago. And this kept coming in all the conversations I had with Daniel, especially in our walks and talks. And I can honestly say that his vision was really clear, but I didn't know how to execute on it then, and I didn't think that our leadership was ready for it, our employees, and the typical why. So why would you do this? You would do it for attraction, right, and try to find new talent pools. You would also do it for retention, and then we need technology to be where it is now. So pandemic in that way helped us to push forward and fast forward a couple of things, where some of the systems now make it possible to whiteboard and collaborate, but also have communication in different ways and in different tools, but also to work much more and synchronized, which means that, you know, if you have teams in different pockets and some are asleep and some are awake, that you can have these tools that are working for us now. So when all that was in place, I started to have a conversation with two of my true rock stars in my team, so Anna Lundström and Alexander Westerdahl, who are the masterminds behind our program. And they got to do a couple of jam sessions with Daniel and what was his vision, and then we sat down and then they started to get to work.
Exactly. Good. It's interesting when you say it's all about timing and, you know, all of the different pieces need to come together, and also the organization needs to be ready, right?
True.
And I think, and this is where I just jump on when you say technology wasn't ready 4 years ago. I would challenge you and say, I think it was, but I think you're right in the sense of an organization needs to be ready to do this step, to take this step. And I also think that you're right in the sense where you say that the pandemic accelerated, because it did, right? It was like, it actually works, and, you know, we're forced to do this right now. But anyway, so going back to your readiness and how you got there, what would you say are the pillars of your program?
We had to figure out a couple of things. It's so easy to get stopped by the things that are not enabling this right now.
Yes.
So labor law is what labor law is, and it also looks different even in parts of the country. If you take US, for instance, it differs between states. And then if you're not just American-centric company, you're actually a 100% global company. What does that look like? If you take insurance, there's not one insurance company right now, or maybe it is, but we haven't found it, where you could have people that are 100% digital nomads and you still can take care of them. You can go up for 90 days, then you have to go back and find where you have said that your mailbox is, where you live, right? And if you want to be an employer that really take care of your people, and I think we are, and we always say that we are a people first company, these things are really important. So both labor law, but also insurance and then tax, when you move around like that. and you want to support your people and not say like, okay, now you have to talk with IRS, or now you have to talk with Skattemyndigheten, and that is your problem. You made this choice. Then I think, those were the three things that could have stopped us or been blockers, in us being brave enough to go out quite early during the spring and say like, this is our program. But so what's been important to us is to be humble about, we don't know it all. We haven't figured everything out. We're still trying to crack the code, but we're doing that together with our people. And what we have heard the last 13 months is this are the things that are working for us. These are the things that we would like more of. We're getting quite comfortable with the flexibility and freedom. We would like to have some sort of hybrid, or at least a freedom of choice.
Right.
We now figured out how to work with all these things, right? And we know that the trust is there, the efficiency is there, the productivity is there. There are a couple of other things that we need to figure out. And then we will keep serving our people, but also have very, very close dialogue about what's working or not working.
Excellent. And I like the fact that you're saying we don't know it all. We're figuring it out. Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows it.
Agree.
But there's easy then to say, until we know it all, we will not do this, or we will not offer this, or this is not doable in our type of business or what we do. I think that is really to be change averse. I don't think necessarily that will help you to find people or retain people.
Right.
But also, I don't think that nudges a good behavior. Now, when we have all these things in place, let's find out how we can bring, the focus on well-being, mental health, collaboration, innovation, creativity, that energy that happens in the third room, as the researchers call it. So we decided, and I think one of the things that in the beginning of the first maybe a month or two, the question that we got most, so now you're getting rid of your offices and this is actually a way for you to save money. No, we're keeping all our offices because we think that they will play a very big part when it comes to social, when it comes to energy, when it comes into that spontaneous bumping into each other. But we also think that we could have tried to figure that out too, but we again went back to the service that we had asked our people every quarter. Okay, so what do you think you will then use your office to, or where do you want to go? Do you want to go to co-lab or co-working space, or do you want to go to the office? Do you want to stay home? Where do you think you do your best productive, creative work? So we used not necessarily 100% of the 13 months so far, but the last 11th to rebuild all our 70 plus offices to, in a better place, meet those expectations and the needs and the way that our people say, not any other company, not other people, but our people say this is the way we would like to use it. And they look fantastic. They were never ugly. They were never not relevant or supportive. But I think they look fantastic. So I can't wait until everybody can come back and be in the office, because I think we all long for that energy.
Yeah,
see
we
each other.
Definitely do long for that physical meeting for sure. And I just love the fact that you're saying we're anchoring this. We're doing this with the foundation of our people. In dialogue with the people. So it's you, it's Spotify, it's what works for you, right?
Yeah, and we never said, like, we think other companies should do this. We never said that this is the way forward. This is what we think is right for us. Exactly. And I think any company that says anything else is strange. The other thing is, I think, in some of the articles, and especially in media, it's very simplified. Also, one of the easiest trick and oldest trick in the book is like either or.
Right.
Yeah, so we say there's two work modes. Obviously there are more, but just to make it easier for people to choose. So you choose a home mix if you work here, or an office mix. Doesn't mean that you can never come to the office if you said it was a home mix, and it doesn't mean that you have to be in the office all the time if you do an office mix. So why do we ask that? Again, so we can keep track, so we can, iterate and tweak, so we can stay relevant and safe and be there for our people, but also so we can plan. Do we need to add another floor? Do we need to are our people now, when they can do the choice, are they moving from New York to Nashville? Are they moving from US to UK? And why have an empty office if nobody wants to be in a certain location? So we're going more to nodes or hubs rather than this is your office. And a lot of people would like to come into the office because they can't focus at home.
Right.
And some people, you know, and then the question of mental health. There are people that, you know, I'm good to work, but I don't necessarily want to be around people. So we think this is going to help when you have a not okay day, but you still want to do work. But we also are really careful to make sure that we know what this looks like when you can screen and support and ask how are you doing, how are you really doing, and how is everything going. What happens when you don't see people on a daily basis but only on screen? And I think we learned a lot of things about that too in every company. That
Yes.
How do you build that community? How do you do those vaccination injections when it comes to culture? How do you put that, you know, club blazer that is mental? And how do you make sure that connecting tissue and the social glue is there? So many things that we need to figure out together within the company, and that is still key for us. But this is where we're starting. This is where and this is the direction. And we said that we want to become a distributed first company.
Great journey. It will be super interesting to follow you on the path. And now that you sort of set the scene, I'm just wondering, wouldn't it be nice if we can invite Alex and Anna to one of our VODs and just to, you know, hear them
I
share?
think we should. I think we
Would
should.
be nice.
First of all, because they are, I mean, they can talk about all the ins and outs. And they're also great people. To be honest, Alex has done most of the communication about this, and so I think you should invite both of them because Anna is home on parental leave. But I think, you know, Sonia, that has designed all our offices, could also be a terrific guest, together with Travis, because these are the things that we also think can actually help us and support us when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So there's so many things that we need to maybe kill some darlings and get, make sure that we are not stuck on a couple of chosen truths, and keep building on what's really great, and then just stop doing things that are not really necessarily part of the future.
Exactly. Good. So invitations to come.
Yes.
I look forward to.
Yes.
Good.
And that means that I go back to sleep for a while, and then you have other guests.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
maybe.
cool.
Yeah. Excellent. Good. Thank you, Katarina. Always nice. Thank you for sharing. And let's close it with the three typical things that we close it with.
Let's hope I can remember them for once, and without spitting on you too. So it's going to be hashtag stay safe. It's going to be hashtag stay strong and stay active.
Idemodalje.
Live from Stockholm, back on the rooftop. The sun is struggling.
And I thought, sorry, would you like to comment?
Well, she's on attack mode. Do you want to comment something? Yes. Okay.